Guess what? There's a new No Prep series starting this year. It's called the World Series of No Prep. It's a point series, but somebody will be crowned king at the end. It is designed to find out who is the baddest motherfucker in No Prep. This series does not endorse the sissy mentality. This series is to prove without bias, with as few restrictions as possible, to find out who is the baddest of the baddest. Do you have what it takes to compete in this series? Go check out World Series of No Prep event page on Facebook for all the details and rules. See you there. Guess what? There's a new No Prep series starting this year. It's called the World.
Days, I'm gonna get that straightened out. I'm a button pusher. What can I say? What the heck? What's up, everyone? John, how you doing, Bubba? Bobby, how's that weather down there in Alabama this morning? It's already pretty hot here in Ohio. Stayed my ass home this week so I could first off, can you hear me okay? Can you see me okay? Trying some new stuff so I can read the comments a little bit easier. Hopefully you guys can see and hear me okay. But get to work, John. We got to get it going, man. What's up, Brandon? How you doing, buddy? Well, I'm hoping that using the earbuds probably is time for hearing aids, but that's long ago. Back in my car stereo, SPL days. I may have messed my ears up back then, but hot and muggy. It's already hot and muggy here, man. I can't even imagine what it is down there. Thanks, John, for letting me know. Chris, how you doing? But man, after watching the video, I really, really regret. I don't regret it, man. To be honest, but I do kind of regret not going to Slugfest. When being happy live feed last night was some action. Congratulations to Tommy, bringing that money back to Ohio. You know, John, I think about getting back into SPL every once in a while, man. I don't know. It was a million years ago. It was fun. I had a lot of fun with it. I kind of did halfway decent with it. It eventually ended up being sponsored with, by companies like Rockford and Kicker and a few others. Had some fun with it. Gosh, I did get some regional and some world records here and there back in the 90s. My old Astro van. Some fun times. Johnny, what's up, brother? How you doing? Robert, what are you doing, buddy? Hey, Abby, I'll see you tomorrow. I got your shirts bagged up. So you guys better get up there tomorrow, the pacemakers. But yeah, congratulations to Tommy. Just getting down, man. Getting down on the get down. Did a hell of a job yesterday, or last night. Yeah, I don't think there's many car audio shows anymore in the world. I think the 80s and 90s was the kind of the peak for that, man. Man, I got stuff to say, Robert, but I'm gonna be nice because there's kids on here. But yeah, Tommy did a hell of a job in the finals there, just getting down. I mean, there were some fast guys went out first round. Like and people who know how to tune for shitty surfaces, yada yada yada, who are all around gangsters. But this goes to show you, man. Backside of the track, running forwards, backwards, whatever. That'll let you know who the tuners are. Never sponsored, did 145 a couple times, Euro 6 Impala, 215s. Hell yeah. No, I know. I still know people out there, man. I still know people out there. I think the last time I competed was 01, and we had 4 digital design 18s in the Astro van with 4 True Tech Sledgehammer first gen amps. I don't know what they make now, or if they're even still around. I don't follow car audio that much, but you had 4 sledgehammers on each subwoofer. So we were pounding. It was a quad coil sub that I had custom built by Digital Design. We were pounding 18,000 watts to each subwoofer, and it did at that time there was only 5 or 6 people above 170. We did like a 172.1. And then I think we were probably we were like 4th or 5th loudest at the time, but then there was a gap. Alma Gates was still running back then. A few others, they were doing like high 73s, low 74s, and fuck, man, I was in my early mid 20s. I didn't have that kind of money or time, but I had the damn passion and desire. What's up, Paget? What do you know, brother? So I got lucky. I got lucky back then. I ended up with quite a few regional and state records across the country and a couple world records. It's some fun stuff. Fun stuff. Billy, what's up, buddy? Jamie, what's up, brother? Blade's looking good. Making a hell of a lot more progress than I am, man. Making me feel bad. But I'm trying. Jamie got all kinds of awesome stuff going on with his blazer. Mine's just a little podunk. Just real quick. Yeah, I got a tablet to help me read the comments while I'm working here. I got a pretty detailed video on this. I think I talked about this last time. Made a little bit of progress. Got this sanded and everything. And then in typical fashion, man, I was thinking about what the hell I was going to do for a center support. I made it way more complicated than it needed to be. So I took one of these. This is a 10 Soldiers tab rail. And they have this slot here, and you can put it in your brake or vice or whatever, bend it. So if you need 2 sides connected to something, you can bend this at 10, 20, 90, however many degrees you need, and mount 2 things together. Or the single-sided, me and my hairbrain. I decided to put tabs in here. Obviously, these are all manual, so they don't look the greatest. So I can make a tab and slot center support. So on the agenda today is to fixture this up as such. I'm sure you already seen the pictures. Then I'm gonna TIG weld it on the back side where the tabs stick out. Although I'm trying to do this one-handed, I'm not. Let's see. Bear with me one second. So you can see I left a little extra meat on there so I could fixture this up, TIG weld it, and this extra material will act as my filler rod to fill the gap. And then I'll today what I'm going to do is cut my windshield out of plexiglass, and I'll get that in, and then I'll be able to put the radius in the scallop tabs to match that radius vertically, because you know it's not perfectly flat and straight, has an arc to it. So I'll match that compound curve, excuse me, and then we'll get it welded in. I'll drill the holes out like I did here, put the nut certs in, and then in the center I'll have 2 rows. So I have 2 rows of I bought stainless Allen head screws, and they're a pan head. Yeah, these aren't the screws, but just to give you an idea of what the these are Phillips head, but they're a pan head. So when they lay on there, they'll almost look like rivets. I don't want to rivet it, but I want that look. So they'll be stainless, and it'll look like it's riveted in, but it's got a bunch of small Allen heads going in there. All my money on nitrous back in the day, no car audio. Edward, what's up, buddy? Good morning. What's up, Jason? How you doing? So, Blake, what's up, brother? I know, but I want to race. So this filming stuff, man. I've already been up since 6:30 preparing for all this stuff, so I can update everybody and show you guys a couple things. Stuff just takes so much time, man. I'm not going to go over in great detail because I've already filmed all this. I'll show you how I did it. This I didn't film. It's one of those things where I just kind of started doing it. And the next thing I know, it's done. Sometimes I do that and I go back through and do another one and film it, but I just figured for today's live feed, I'd just show you. So let me set this up real quick on the stand. I'll explain to you briefly how I did it. It really isn't rocket science. I'm sure anybody could do it. I'm not special or smart or anything. I just take your time, man. Yeah, Jamie, it's I agree, man. Try to beat that heat. That's what I'm doing. Like that, I did sleep in today till about 6, just before 6. You got that right, John. So, there's nothing overly complex about this. The main thing is take your time. So if you want to do something like this, I know there's other people out there that sell them, but Tin Soldiers are the homies. That's where I get mine at, tinsoldiersracecars.com. So you'll need one of these. And if you're like me, although I got lucky on this one, I didn't need a second one, but sometimes you screw shit up. And I think these are 16 or 18 bucks each. It's worth it just in case you screw it up to not have to pay shipping the second time, to just buy a spare. But I literally lined up all the holes, hole for hole, because this is the same exact item. It's mirrored with the slots in the center of it. clamped everything together so it didn't move. You can see I got a million vice grips here. Vice grips and clamps are your friends. I promise you. Never too many of them. I probably, between vice grips and clamps, I'm bragging. I'm telling you, it just has how it works. You accumulate them, and they're so valuable. I probably have 50 or so. You always need a different style: a needle nose, a regular, a 2-inch, 3-inch, 4-inch, 8-inch, 10-inch. Regular with the pads. I mean, just it is what it is. I never apologize for buying tools. It's one of my addictions. So I clamp these down so they don't move. Then you see, just real simply, all I did was take a Sharpie, go from outside to outside, and fill that in with the black, because now I know where the black is where my tab's going to be, and where it isn't is where I need to create the negative space. I took 2 rails. See if you can see this. It'll focus. So I took 2 rails, taped them together, and I used that for my depth gauge. So now I'm twice. Once I do that, I'm twice as deep as this material is thick when this goes through. So now I go through the depth of the material, plus I have an extra 040, and that's what I'll use for my filler material when I TIG weld it together. I mean, I may still have to add a little bit of rod in there, but for the most part, I shouldn't have to add much. So I sharpied in all those areas. Took a why didn't I? Third rail. Used two scraps that I had, like I said, taped them together. That gave them my depth. And as soon as this was flush, I just slid this to it and then clamped that down on top of it. Took a scribed my line. Now I know exactly how deep I need to go to create my negative space. And I know that the black is the no-go zone. But I also forget stuff and do shit backwards sometimes. So don't grind into black areas. Don't ever feel bad about writing yourself notes like that, man. We all get distracted and forget shit and whatever. And mistakes happen. I've made plenty of costly mistakes. Try not to beat myself up about them, just learn from them and move on. But also try to, as much as possible, avoid them in advance. No, not going, staying home and working today. Yeah, Jamie, I saw that. I saw that. Wouldn't mind going to that. There's a couple out that way. I wouldn't mind going to. Scott was sending me some stuff about that one, and then the street deal in Cali. I might be able to make that one if I stay my ass home and keep busting ass. So I tried several different things. Like in my arsenal of tools, I thought this was going to be the clear winner to grind all these down. I mean, like logically, right? It's like, heck yeah, just drop it down in, drop it down in, drop it down in. It was eating belts like crazy for some reason doing that. And I thought, well, I'll try this guy. And it didn't like it was just taking way too long. Plus, I don't like the shards that these throw off when you're doing sheet metal work. They throw little tiny metal splinters at you, and that sucks. So I ended up just using this guy, which was the last tool I thought I would ever use on this type of project, but it just ended up working the best. So you never know. And I just come in and hit it at an angle, and then just kind of working my way across. What I did was, so to achieve that and not go past my scribe line, on the edge of this aluminum here, measured my depth, and then I clamped 100 clamps on there across there, and then that way I'd grind it, and as soon as I hit resistance, I knew I was there, and I grind it, and as soon as I hit resistance, I knew I was there, and then I just kind of sweep across, get the rest off. This thicker material, this 1/4 inch aluminum, acted like a stop for me. I mean, this is all crude at-home fabrication, sure. I had to get refamiliar with CAD, but I could have CAD'd this out and sent it off and had it laser cut, or called Jason and those guys and told them what I was doing and had one specially made. But this whole process, like this planning to completion, I'm probably going to have, I know it's going to sound ridiculous, but maybe this is why you'll understand fabrication shops charge so much. For this one piece, I'll probably end up having like 4 or 5 hours. It takes a while. Just pre-think stuff and think it through, and do it. And hell, I could have failed miserably and had to do a whole second one. Morning, Renee. How you doing, honey? Uh, yeah, I hate them die grinder splinters, man. I try not to, especially on like cast aluminum or billet steel, or any of that kind of stuff. Billet steel or billet aluminum. They're extra delicious there, picking them out. So and then you're just grinding, however many times I had to do it, all those notches in there. Test fit it, touch stuff up. I mean, it's crazy how long crazy me how I overcomplicate stuff. I mean, I could have done just like everybody else and just threw a 1/4 inch rod or 2 up there with a couple of tabs on it and been done. But sometimes I just see stuff and I literally glanced at this. These 2 things were sitting side by side. That just popped in my head, and I said, "Man, that's what I want. That's how I'm going to do it." So, adds a ridiculous amount of time to it, but what I want, that's how I'm going to do it. So now everything fits real well. Today, later, I'm going to go through and just make a simple fixture, because I'll have to get all my slots matched up to the hole. Put this upside down like so. Why you have to fixture it. The wiggly pain in the ass. And my fixture, I don't need anything complex. I'll take a couple pieces of scrap angle iron. I'll clamp them here onto this. Then I'll figure some way to push that down. Put it in place. It doesn't distort the material, but gives me the maximum stick out. So I know I'm nice and flush the whole way through. And obviously I want a square. I don't want any kind of goofy ass angle on it side to side. Go through and weld all this up. before I do that, though, I'll lay everything out nice and flat and DA sand it both sides because I still got to hit it with primer and paint. And right now, when you're building stuff like this that's flat, it's always easier to sand it now, weld it together, and then just touch it up than it is to not sand it at all or prep it for paint at all. In my experience, I'm not that smart, but this does help me sand it all now in the flat. It'll make it a ton easier later, I promise you. Like I said, then you just got to touch up where you welded, and it's a 2-second deal on something like this. And then it's ready to solvent clean and paint and all that jazz. No, they're mild still, Sean. Just regular old mild still. I imagine they could cut some in stainless for you if you wanted, but they just make them in mild still. Hey, from Rhode Island, Rob, how you doing? So I'll fixture that up, and that's what I'll spend some part of my day to day doing, getting that welded up. But before I can mount that, it's getting a little warm. I need my caffeine. Soldier boys, shout out. But again, before I can even mount that in the car, I have to come over here, get this sucker done today. So I like templates. They're fun. Ron Durr, what are you doing up so early? Here's an example of the template I made for the motor plate. It wasn't rocket science. I literally laid the motor plate on top of this, traced it out, traced every hole out. That gave me the ability to set this in between the frame rails, get a measurement for center. So I knew it was perfectly centered in between the rails. I like the grid so that way I can measure, I can center everything, and then I can center it for sure that I'm even sides. Centered and leveled. This piece of cardboard is like 10 or 15 cents versus hacking on a $150 motor plate and going oopsie. So when I did all of this, sat it down there the first time, it was like 99% perfect. One thing we'll run into sometimes, like the motor plate's 1/4 inch, and this is whatever 040-ish probably, is sometimes that thickness difference will affect some stuff, but it's no big deal. It was 99% perfect. I think I just had to do a little extra motor plate in a few spots, and then it sat perfectly. Damn puppy woke me up. Man, I've had template making isn't all that difficult. I don't need a grid on this one, so that's why I'll just show it here simply. Making the template for the windshield can be easy. That's the windshield that came out. I did spider web it. I knew I wasn't using it, so I wasn't that worried about it. But it still has the shape, and that's all I really care about. Shoot the 1/4 inch plexiglass. I've tried several manufacturers. I've tried several. I don't know. The world and getting parts is just goofy right now. Can't even get people to call you back to buy freaking $600 windshield. I'm just gonna make mine. You have 1/4 inch acrylic. Oh, oh, listen, that thing is only 10% more. It's only 10% stronger than acrylic. So I'm not concerned about it. It's just as durable, flexible. It shapes just as well. Everything. But 10% more impact resistant, and any impacts that I have in here, the 10% probably won't matter anyway. So safety isn't important. Just decided that this is the path I'm taking. I don't suggest you do it, but for me, 10% doesn't mean that much. And don't judge me for it. So don't judge me for 10% less impact resistance. Basic template making process, or at least what I do. You know, I'm nobody in this world. Uh, so I'm going to do it. This freaking chipboard is so cheap. I just want to, right now, I just want to line it up. On the most extreme edges and tape it down. Go through, just trim it up. You work in a shop, here's a pro tip. I've had these sewing scissors for almost, let's see, I got these in about 93, 94-ish. And you know what? They've never been stolen. They're awesome sewing scissors. You can send them out and get them sharpened. They're great for template making and all that stuff. Pink handles. Nobody in the shop will steal them. I lost several good sets. That's how I learned that. They only had pink, and I was like, hey, don't want pink. But open nice. They're a little more expensive than like the stainless one. Uh, 15, 20 years. I mean, they just hold up. The Alpha brand blade. I am not sponsored by them or anything. Speaking from experience, the Alpha brand blades will last a whole lot longer. Also, stainless blade, regular steel blade, seems to last really well compared to the one, but stainless still more, but maybe not. So, yeah, what I did there, I just cut through both of them. The first one I cut all the way through. The second one, it just scored it. I had to go through a couple more times to cut through it, but have to take your time and put good pressure through there. Use a good snap blade. Maybe it ain't an Ultra brand, but work with it. Tried to trim this. It got what I don't like. The blade laid over, which is my fault. But it laid over and did that, cut past the OEM glass. So I'm not going to try that. I'm not going to do that anymore. It is an easy fix. I can take a piece of tape, put right there. Because how thin this is, like, whoa, got that tape quick and easy. That. That piece of tape has just become part of the template now. It's not yeah. It might be caffeine and crafts with Josh. I don't drink coffee, but yeah, that might not be a bad idea, Jamie. What's up, Sammy? So nice, right? That's where the hold on. That's where the window broke, and so there's glass down there. I guess should investigate a little more. Right on the dance. Right on the damn knuckle. It doesn't hurt, but it means it's going to be annoying all fucking day. Just do that either. Whatever, I already have plenty of solvents in my blood, and that will definitely kill anything. So there's your little my kitty. There's your there's how you do a band-aid on the fly in the shop. Nice Snoopy band-aids. Spill in aisle. uh, yeah, buddy. Oh man, what do you do? Hey, good morning, Emran. How are you? I see. Sorry, on my phone, I can't tell if it's a flag or what. I don't have my glasses. Damn it, I didn't. I didn't. Or home. Boy, no. Sorry for this unintentional break here. Frame. A lot of this. If that's too far and you can't see the, well, I got super glue in the house. I don't have any out here. So for the sake of not abandoning the live feed, but I do agree with you. All right, so if you can't see details good enough, let me know and I'll scoot it back. But I kind of feel like this is we got to see the whole picture kind of moment. Avoid the danger zone. I'll use the Sharpie instead of my finger. Rinse it out. Everything's always good. Right, which side you're working on. This surface is going to face the outside, but sometimes you're making a template from the inside. I have done that where I'm making something that's like really close to perfect on both sides, but not quite. And I've flipped it around on accident. Write yourself that note. Following the Sharpie. That way I don't press this up. Instead of my line being here, it being over here somewhere goofy. Because the Sharpie, you know, in theory, you feel like you're going vertically. But sometimes, well, we'll do it this way. Sometimes you'll accidentally do this and you won't even notice it, but see how much that position changes. You want your line here, but you've angled it on accident. Now your line's all the way over here. And now your template's useless because you've just made it. Hell, look at that little bit. It's about half an inch off. So it's a lot less likely to do if you're pushing down on the cardboard as you're tracing it for the cardboard to lift and you to be able to create that angle and go inside, screw your template up. It's not the end of the world because you'll lay it back on here and you'll go, oh man, I screwed up right here. But then you can take a scrap piece of cardboard and lay on top, tape it over there, or do like I did here if it's depending on how bad it is. Just use tape for a smaller section. Not the end of the world, everything's fixable. Things because I screwed up a lot of stuff. You know, it sucks to lose money, but sometimes more of losing the time on the project. there. It, had a little gap there. There. Tape moves like cardboard, right? So back it up. Templates. I know I haven't spent a lot of time on this, and when I looked it up, it might be like quick crap. But try this at home. Won't do it as quick as I'm doing it. It's just because I've done it. Don't get discouraged. It takes me 20 minutes and it takes you an hour. Fine. It used to take me an hour. That would probably used to take me two. Not that bright. I just occasionally am more determined. So don't be afraid to spend 15, 20 bucks on cardboard and tape and try it at home yourself if you've never done this before. We've got nice clear lines, traced everywhere. You see, this is where it was taped down. So obviously I can't go underneath the tape, but also that's such a small bridge of a gap. You can figure it out and correct that, you know. So nothing exciting here. We all learned this in kindergarten. Stay in the lines. Another shot. Just gonna cut on the outside of the line because it's always easier to sand down to something if this ends up being that Sharpie line is like 1/8 inch thick. So I'm adding 3/16 to 1/4 of an inch overall with this template, but it's always easier to remove extra material than it is to add back to it. So it's just the habit I'm in. On the outside of the line, I can always sand down to perfection. Sometimes trying to go back through and add the pain in the ass. You here helping? I think gates were 9 and tip girls at 1. So if you're in Ohio and got much going on, but you want to see some good racing, even if you got stuff going on, telling people to fuck off. You're going to go watch some racing. I do it pretty frequently. That bar mitzvah or racing. Birthday party or racing. Unless it's the kids. Adult birthday parties suck. Kids, they always got the best cake, ice cream, usually someplace fun. So we'll go to Chuck E. Cheese. Pizza. What's that? What's the other one? Oh, Magic Mountain. I'll make it. Stay in frame here. But literally, take your time. You're never in a hurry. Slow is fast. Take a few more minutes making your template. Take your time cutting it out. Being in a hurry, and you have a more accurate template as an end result. It'll make for a lot less work on the other side. Template fits great. Not crazy about this corner for some reason. I didn't Darby that. Registration mark. A little sloppy and non-critical. Drag as possible, and that trim, that little hump, will create drag as the wind hits it, causes resistance. And so what I want is no trim, so that when the wind hits the windshield, it rolls up and over the body with as little resistance as possible. And that's all bullshit because it's not going to matter. I'm not even going to be that fast. I just want to make this so I don't have to fit trim up into it. that would require a little more tolerance, a little more effort, and more work. Uh, not really about that on this project, on this portion of the project. How well this will work out if I can. A bit of trimming to do, not a ton. Be careful not to put much radius in it. Have it humped out to here with a stock. These are the stock stops. That's what I'm locating it off of. Don't care how high and tight we go. Radius at all. Up here, real tight, but if we're too tight here, that will affect the radius. That down in there. Deal. Distorting along the top there. Deal. Trim down the hair here. Start marking it out for a bazillion holes. Screw down with, and we'll, I'm not gonna put the folder template, sorry, but then I'll transfer this to my plexiglass rather. Then I'll drill a bazillion holes in it for all these nuts are. That way it's mounted, the tape is set, center support, and hopefully this entire project will be done today by myself. So pretty ambitious, but I think I can get the windshield done today, center support done today. Cross member in today. Right. Those are the main goals for today. Guys, let me know what you think of this. That was quality. Quality. Or I can't do a super versatile like exterior panel, bracket, tab, basic skill set. Buy it like it's not worth. That I'm capable of and cut out. Quite frankly, do a lot crappier job as the end result. What they have with the situation. Had one get me a quote, but then my buddy had one on order from me. It's not the shop's fault. Oh, but then the manufacturer took 4 or 5 months to get timelines or anything to myself. And plexiglass, so now it's just sweat equity. This whole week all the way around with making it to myself, but it is what it is. The world's a funny place right now. More of these. Obviously, I'm not here every Saturday morning to do this, but or think this is stupid. But you guys don't want to see. I mean, there's been about between 25 and 40 people pretty consistent. You know, have a great Saturday. Staying home, working on the Blazer. Tomorrow I'll be a pacemaker, so hopefully I'll see some of you guys out there. Have a great weekend.